Hello. How are you? I am girl with experience. What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? Okay. So, welcome to stream. Welcome back to Othello. Well, okay. I know it's Othello, but I had a friend share some Hamlet memes. And I was going to ask if you would like to see the Hamlet memes. If not, that's okay. But they're pretty fire if you want to see them. Otherwise, we don't have to look at them. Today was fine. I didn't do a whole lot today. I cooked though, and I did some cleaning, which was great and very needed. There is a dust storm happening right now in China, and it's blowing over to Korea, so that's a little bit stressful. I have tennis shoes now, which is exciting. And yeah, that's about it. That's about all that's going on right now. It's pretty dope. So today, we are going to be reading Othello. So, let's go over what happened yesterday. Since it seems that no one is interested in the Hamlet memes. Oh, I have to open the book. Right. Okay. So we read all of scene 1 and scene 2 of Othello yesterday. So essentially we start out with Rodrigo and Iago, who are two dudes in Venice. Okay, Rodrigo, I guess, is like a buddy of Iago, and Iago is just like, man, I hate this. I've been besties with Othello for so long, and he didn't even promote me to second in command. And Rodrigo's like, man, that sucks. Like, I don't even think I would just work for him anymore if I was in your shoes. And Iago's like, no. You know what I'm gonna do? I am gonna sabotage him, and I am gonna get it so that he does not have any power over me anymore, and Cassio doesn't either. So then that way, I am in charge. The end. So then we have Brabantio who comes in. So Iago's like, yo, Brabantio. And Brabantio's like, dude, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. You're here for what? And I'm over here laughing at Brabantio because Brabantio can't stay up late. But Brabantio has a problem because Iago's like, yo, Brabantio, guess what? You're a virgin. And Brabantio's like, shut up, Iago. And Iago's like, but guess what? Your daughter's not a virgin. And Brabantio's like, what? Excuse me? Scratch that first comment, which is totally untrue, by the way, but this is also untrue, you lying piece of crap. And then Iago's like, well, let me tell you something. Your daughter's not in your house. I bet you $1 million. He didn't say that, but I'm just saying. I'm really dumbing this down a lot. And then Brabantio's like, you know what? Screw it. I'll take you on that bet. And then he goes through his house. He's like, Iago, bro, I must be a virgin because my daughter's not in my house. I trust you. Wait, no, Rodrigo says all this stuff. Iago comes up with the plan, but Rodrigo executes it. And so Brabantio's just like, bro, where's my daughter? And Rodrigo's like, dude, your daughter's with Othello. So then Rodrigo and Brabantio go, and they're going to go find Othello. So then, all the meanwhile, Iago was like, deuces, I'm going to get out of here before Brabantio tells everybody that I was here and that Othello finds out that I'm behind this huge scheme that is going to be ratting out his wife. Oops. I'm going to go hang out with Othello instead and do like this thing where I'm like, hey, bestie, how are you? I love you so much. So Iago shows up. And Othello's like, yo, bro, guess what? I just got married yesterday. And Iago's like, what? That's nuts. What? And Othello's like, yeah, man, I just got married to Desdemona, bro. We smashed last night. And Iago's like, what? And Cassio's like, hey guys, what? Marriage happened? And Othello's like, and Iago's like, you wouldn't get it. This is bro talk. Okay, we're talking here. Cassio, you're not part of this. And Cassio's like, oh, okay, sure. Yeah, okay. Fine. And then Iago and Othello are talking, and Othello's just like, yeah, we got married, and like, you know, she stayed with me yesterday, and it was like pretty dope. Just saying. And then Brabantio and Rodrigo come in, and Brabantio is just like, bro, I cannot believe what you have done. I'm about to kill you. And Othello's like, whoa, 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 bro, chill out. What? And Brabantio's like, dude, you know what you did. And Othello's like, bro, if I did anything, I would know, okay? I didn't do anything to you or Desdemona. And he's like, no, you did, and I'm gonna arrest you. And Othello's like, why? And Brabantio's like, you know why. He's like the worst gang leader ever. And then Othello's like, I don't really know why, but okay, I'll let you arrest me, I guess. All the meanwhile, the Duke is trying to relay a message to Othello and tell Othello to come talk to him. And Othello's like, yeah, I should really go talk to the Duke. Hello, Caleb, welcome to chat. So, it's really just all of this chaos. But anyway, Othello gets arrested. Because Brabantio's like, you know what you did. You're getting arrested. If the Duke wants to talk to you, he can come to you. He's like, all right, bet. Sounds good. So that's what's happening. Othello arrested. Duke Othello-less. Desdemona V-cardless. And Brabantio just dissatisfied with life. And then scene 3 begins. A lot has already happened. In scene 1 and scene 2 of Act 1. Why, thank you, Caleb. That is the whole point of this stream, is to make old literature sound interesting. It is very exciting to hear when someone else thinks that something sounds interesting that I am reading. Okay. So, we start scene 3. And it's a council chamber. And there's a duke and a senator, and they come in. And they're attended by officers. With lights. They have lights. They have flashlights. They're like... And then they enter and sit at a table. Okay, so I'm guessing this is happening right after Othello gets arrested. Okay? So the Duke says, there is no composition in these news that gives them credit. Senator 1. Indeed, they are disproportioned. My letters say 107 galleys. Duke. And mine 140. So this is the amount of letters that the Duke has had to send to Othello, because Othello has just been ghosting him this whole time. The Duke has been trying so hard to slide into these DMs, and he just isn't landing it. He's like, hey, you up? And Othello's like, nah, brah, I'm not up. You home? Nah, bro, I'm not home right now. I'm actually out right now. I just got married. Oops. And Senator 2 says, okay, there are 2 senators. One of them is gonna wear glasses, okay? Senator 2 has glasses. Here we go. Haha. And mine 200. He sent 200. But though they jump not on a just account, as in these cases there aim the reports, 'tis oft with difference. Yet do they all confirm a Turkish fleet in bearing up to Cyprus. Oh. Okay, so the Duke is also interested in this war that's going on with Cyprus. Oh, okay. Hold up. So they're sending letters to these different locations, not just to Othello. Just kidding. I'm dumb. Okay. The Duke is sending a whole bunch of letters to these different locations that are on the borders to see where Cyprus is trying, or where the Turkish fleet is trying to invade. Okay? They're in the middle of a war, and the Duke is trying to be tactful about it. And the Duke says, "Nay, it is possible enough to judgment. I do not so secure me in the error, but the main article I do approve in fearful sense." And the sailor, there's a sailor outside of the room, and he says, "What ho! What ho! What ho!" Hello, Sardo. Welcome to chat. No, I am not reading an abridged Shakespeare. I am reading a Shakespeare, a full-on Shakespeare, full-fledged. But I abridge it kind of and make it understandable. And the officer says, "A messenger from the galleys." And the sailor comes. Okay, so this sailor is coming to deliver a message from the location that they might have sent a message to. And the Duke says, "Now, what's the business?" And the sailor says, "The Turkish preparation makes for Rhodes. So was I bid report here to the state of Signor Angelo." Okay, so the sailor's like, "Bro, look, there's some crap going down." Okay, and the Duke is saying to the senators, "How say you by this change?" So the Duke is like, "How does this sound like, is this what's happening right now?" And the senator says, oh wait, no, that's Senator 1. He doesn't wear glasses. Though he probably should, because I don't think Senator 2 is coming back. "This cannot be, but by no essay of reason, 'tis a pageant to keep us in false gaze. When we consider the importancy of Cyprus to the Turk, and let ourselves again by understand that as it more concerns the Turk than Rhodes, so may he with far more facile question bear it, for that it stands not in such warlike brace, but altogether lacks the abilities that Rhodes is dressed in. The abilities that Rhodes is dressed in. If we make thought of this, we must not think the Turk is so unskilful to leave the latest, which concerns him first, neglecting an attempt of ease and gain, to wake and wage a danger profitless." Okay. So essentially, the senator is saying, look, Cyprus is really important to Turkey because, it's more important to Turkey than to us. So therefore, we should keep it because, honestly, if Turkey gets it, then they can do more stuff. And the Duke says, "Nay, in all confidence, he's not for Rhodes." And the officer says, "Here is more news." And then a new messenger comes in. So I like how the Duke is just sitting there and being like, "What's happening, guys? I don't understand. Can you help?" And the messenger says, "The Ottomites, reverend and gracious, steering with due course toward the Isle of Rhodes, have there enjointed with an afterfleet." And Senator 1 says, "Ah, so I thought, how many are you, guess?" And the messenger says, "Of 30 sail, and now they do restem their backward course, bearing with frank appearance their purposes towards Cyprus. Signor Montano, your trusty and most valiant servitor, with his free duty recommends you thus, and prays you to believe him." And the Duke says, "'Tis certain for Cyprus, Marcus Luchicos, is not he in town?" And Senator 1 says, "He's now in Florence." Okay. Right. Right. It explains royals so well. So the Duke is just like, okay, they are crouching. They're coming into Cyprus. It's definitely going to happen. And now he's inquiring about this guy named Marcus. I don't know if he's going to end up being important. Let's see. It doesn't look like it. Awkward. I'm from the US, but I live in Korea. Good question, Sardo. Okay. And Duke says, "Write from us to him, post haste dispatch." And Senator 1 says, "Here comes Brabantio and the valiant Moor." Okay, so Brabantio is coming in, he's visiting the Duke, okay? So you have to keep in mind that Brabantio just arrested Othello, okay? He just arrested Othello for sleeping with his daughter. Brabantio is there, Othello is there, IAGO is there, Rodrigo is there, Cassio is there, and the officers are there. Everybody is here. It is time for a goddamn party, okay? And the Duke says, "Valiant Othello, we must straight employ you against the general enemy, Ottoman." And then he turns to Brabantio. "Oh, I didn't see you. Welcome, gentle signor. We lacked your counsel and your help tonight." So, Othello's not really a Don Juan. So Desdemona, the woman that he slept with, is his new wife. So he was making love to his wife. They just got married in secret. That's the thing. Is Brabantio has this whole misunderstanding and doesn't communicate with people. And because Shakespeare is the king of writing plays about miscommunication, we just have this person who has not communicated what is actually happening. And I love this. I love the way this Duke has said this. Oh, Othello, I'm so glad you're here because we need to deploy you, like, immediately, okay? This is a mess right now. And then he turns to Brabantio, the man who arrested Othello, and was like, oh, you weren't here earlier. What's going on? What's happening right now? And Brabantio says, so did I yours, good your grace, pardon me. Neither my place nor aught I heard of business hath raised me from my bed, nor doth the general care take hold on me. For my particular grief is of so floodgate and overbearing nature that it engluts and swallows other sorrows, and yet it's still itself. And the Duke says, why, what's the matter? And Brabantio says, my daughter! Oh, my daughter! And it says all. I don't know why it says all. I'm guessing it's just everybody that's related to the Duke. But everyone says, dead? And Brabantio says, aye, to me, she's abused, stolen from me, and corrupted by spells and medicines bought of mountebanks. For nature so preposterously to err, being not deficient, blind, or lame of sense, sans witchcraft could not. And the Duke says, whoever he be that in this foul proceeding hath thus beguiled your daughter of herself, and you of her, the bloody book of law, you shall yourself read in the bitter letter, after your own sense, yea, though our proper son stood in your actions. I have absolutely no idea who this is, but I will do some research after. Brabantio, humbly I thank your grace. Here is the man, this Moor, whom now it seems your special mandate for the state affairs hath hither brought. And everyone says, we are very sorry for it. Okay, so essentially Brabantio's like, my daughter was taken advantage of. And she has been put under this spell, and anything less than witchcraft has been acted upon her, and it's just such an injustice, and a man has done such a horrible thing. And the Duke is like, oh, what a horrible guy, we should really punish this guy, who is this guy? And Brabantio's like, bro, it's Othello! And everyone's like, oh my god! And the Duke says, what in your own part can you say to this? And Othello says, okay, strap in, he has a lot to say about this. But, Brabantio comes in first. Nothing, but this is so. But then Othello comes in after Brabantio says, he has nothing to say, sir. Othello says, most potent, grave, and reverend signors, my very noble and approved good masters, that I have taken away this old man's daughter, it is most true. True. I have married her. The very head in front of my offending hath this extent no more. Rude am I in my speech, and little blessed with the soft phrase of peace. For since these arms of mine had 7 years' pith, till now some 9 moons wasted they have used. Their dearest action in the tented field, in little of this great world can I speak more than pertains to feats of broil in battle, and therefore little shall I grace my cause in speaking for myself. Yet, by your gracious patience, I will around unvarnished tale deliver of my whole course of love, what drugs, what charms, what conjuration, and what mighty magic, for such proceedings I am charged with all, I won his daughter. Okay, Othello's kind of badass. I kind of like it. So, Othello's just like, oh, you want me to tell you what magic and what spells and what whatever I used to charm his daughter? Well, fine, I'll do it. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what I used, okay? And blessed, by the way, we are married. Just keep that in mind. I, Othello, am married to this woman, so, like, I didn't do anything wrong. And Brabantio says, a maiden never bold, of spirit so still and quiet that her motion blushed at herself, and she, in spite of nature, of years, of country, credit, everything, to fall in love with what she feared to look on. It is a judgment maimed and most imperfect that will confess perfection, so could err against all rules of nature, and must be driven to find out practices of cunning hell why this should be. I therefore vouch again that with some mixtures powerful over the blood, or with some dram conjured to this effect, he wrought upon her. And the Duke says, to vouch this is no proof, without more wider and more overt test, than these thin habits and poor likelihoods of modern seeming do prefer against him. So Brabantio says, okay, she has to have been under some kind of spell. There has to have been some kind of magic, right? Because Brabantio is just like, she did not like him. She kind of was afraid of him a little bit at some point. And now she's in love with him and married to him? How the hell did this happen? And the Duke is like, it doesn't matter, bro. Like, shit happens, okay? Just get over it. I know, isn't it nice to see that it's a man getting accused? Right. It's a dude trying to convince a woman, which, I mean, to be fair, it's sad that it has to be for something sexual instead of, like, literally anything else. But it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I agree. And then Senator 1 comes in. Poor Senator 2. Senator 2 got no lines in this. He got one line, and then he was like, oops, guess I'm not getting anything else. Man, story of my life. Okay, Senator 1, but Othello speak. Did you by indirect or forced courses subdue and poison this young maid's affections? Or came it by request in such fair questions soul to soul affordeth? So this guy, Senator 1, he's just like, okay, Duke, good point. However, comma, we gotta question this man, right? Because I want the tea. This senator is really in it for the goss, okay? I will answer your question in a little bit. We're in the heat of something, and then after I will answer, okay? So Othello says, I do beseech you, send for the lady to the Sagittary, and let her speak for me before her father. If you do find me foul in her report, the trust, the office I do hold of you. Not only take away, but let your sentence even fall upon my life. Okay. So Othello's just like, look, go get her. If you don't believe me, go get this woman, okay? And go ask her yourself if I did anything to her, because I'm telling you right now I didn't do anything. And the Duke says to the officers, fetch Desdemona hither. And Othello says, ancient, conduct them. You best know the place. And then IAGO and the officers exunt, which is a plural of exit. It's one of my favorite verbs now. And Othello says, until she come as truly as to heaven, I do confess the vices of my blood. So justly to your grave ears I'll present how I did thrive in this fair lady's love, and she and mine. Okay, so Othello's like, well, let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you how we did fall in love, okay? And the Duke's like, say it, Othello. I love how the Duke is just the hype man of Othello. He's like, Othello, I love when you tell stories. I love when you come here. And Othello says, her father loved me, often invited me. Still questioned me the story of my life from year to year, the battles, sieges, fortunes that I have passed. I ran it through, even from my boyish days to the very moment that he bade me tell it. Wherein I spake of most disastrous chances of moving accidents by flood and field of hairbreadth escapes in the imminent deadly breach, of being taken by the insolent foe and sold to slavery, of my redemption thence, importance of my travels history, wherein to antras vast and deserts idle, rough quarries, rocks, and hills, whose touch heaven. It was my hint to speak, such was my process, and of that cannibals, and of the cannibals that eat each other, that each other eat. the anthropophagi, and men whose heads do grow beneath their shoulders. This to hear would Desdemona seriously incline, but still the house affairs would draw their thence. Whichever, as she could with haste dispatch, she'd come again, and with a greedy ear devour up my discourse, which I, observing, took once a pliant hour, and found good means to draw from her a prayer of earnest heart, that I would all my pilgrimage dilate, whereof by parcels she had something heard, but not intentively. I did consent, and often did beguile her of tears, when I did speak of some distressful stroke that my youth suffered. My story being done, she gave me for my pains a world of sighs. She swore in faith 'twas strange, 'twas passing strange, 'twas pitiful, 'twas wondrous pitiful. She wished she had not heard it, yet she wished that heaven had made her such a man. She thanked me, and bade me, if I had a friend that loved her, I should but teach him how to tell my story, and that would woo her. Upon this hint I spake. She loved me for the dangers I had passed, and loved her that she did pity them. This only is the witchcraft I have used. Here comes the lady, let her witness it. And then Desdemona comes in with Iago and the attendants. What's up, Light? Welcome to chat. Okay, I'm going to break this down and then I'll answer your question. And yes, the Duke is totally a simp for Othello. I don't know what's going on with the Duke, but let me tell you, he's got it going on for Othello. So Othello is just like, look, I have had a rough life. I have seen war. I have seen battle, okay? And I talked to Desdemona about it, and Desdemona was like, oh my gosh, that's so bad. But also, you're so bad, and that's like kind of hot, okay? That's kind of how she views it. If she heard all of these horrific stories that he was telling her, he was bearing his heart to her about how he's done all of these horrible things. And then all of a sudden she's just like, man, you're so strong and you've done all of these really brave things and I'm really impressed and I'd love to have a guy like that. So that's what's going on. So she's gonna come in and she's gonna explain her side. But okay, to answer your question, I got into Shakespeare, it was kind of by my own volition. So essentially it's I had a friend who had like this big edition of all of the Shakespeare plays, and it had like gold leaf on the side of the book where it had everything in it. It had all of his sonnets and it had all of his plays. And I was starting to read one of the plays in it, and I asked him if I could have it, and he was like, no, you cannot have this, you know. He didn't want me to have it, even though he never read from it, and he isn't a Shakespeare person. But he was like, no, it looks good on my bookcase. And I said, okay, whatever. But it made me want to read more Shakespeare. I want to read every Shakespeare play. It's just like a weird thing that I want to do. I want to go through all of them, and I want to see what all the hype is about, which I kind of get it with some of them. With some of them, I do not. But that's where I'm at. So I've gotten through, I think, 6 or 7 of them now on the stream. Let's see. Hamlet, Macbeth, Merchant of Venice, Midsummer Night's Dream, Twelfth Night, Othello. Is that it? Is that really it? I feel like I've done more. I don't know why. Maybe not. Romeo and Juliet. Yes. Okay, so that's 6. This is number 6. Okay, cool. Dang. This is the 6th one we're doing? That's nuts. Okay, anyway. Moving on. So Desdemona comes in. Here, I'm going to take a drink of water because I'm getting thirsty. Okay. So Desdemona comes in with Iago and the attendants. And I'm over here like, boo, Iago! But I haven't met Desdemona yet, so I don't know if we're going to root for her. Anyway, so the Duke says, I think this tale would win my daughter too, good Brabantio. Take up this mangled matter at the best. Men do their broken weapons rather use than their bare hands. So the Duke is like, I kind of get where Desdemona's coming from. I too would fall for that. Jeez. Okay, yeah, the Duke is really simping for Othello really hard. Okay, and Brabantio says, I pray you hear her speak. If she confess that she was half the wooer, destruction on my head. If by my bad blame light on the man, come hither, gentle mistress. Do you perceive in all this company what most you owe obedience? So Brabantio's like, bro, let her speak first. Okay? Let her speak, and then we can talk about whether or not it was her fault. Okay? And Desdemona says, my noble father, I do perceive here a divided duty. To you I am bound for life and education. My life and education both do learn me how to respect you. You are the lord of duty. I am hitherto your daughter. But here's my husband, and so much duty as my mother showed to you, preferring you before her father, so much I challenge that I may profess due to the more my lord. Wow! That is amazing! I love this. Okay. That is the best slay that I have seen from Shakespeare in a concise form. Okay? Because honestly, Shakespeare is not very concise when he makes points, okay? But Desdemona just killed it in a couple of lines. How many lines? 10 lines. That's it. That's all it took. That cleared it up so fast. I'm bracketing this. This is getting a bracket. Oh my gosh. Dang. That's nuts. It's only a couple sentences. So Brabantio's about to talk, and then, yeah, okay. So Brabantio. Goodbye. I've done. Please, at your grace, on the state affairs, I had rather to adopt a child than get it. Come hither more. I here do give thee that with all my heart, which, what thou hast already, with all my heart, I would keep from thee. For your sake, Jewel, I am glad at soul I have no other child, for thy escape would teach me tyranny. To hang clogs on him I have done, my lord. So Brabantio's like, you have defeated me with my own weapon, and I love you, my child, because if I didn't have you, I would be a tyrannical beast. And the Duke says, let me speak like yourself and say a sentence which, as a grace or step, may help these lovers into your favor. Because, like, Brabantio doesn't approve, but he's like, I get what you're saying, but, oh, God, don't do this. And Duke says, when remedies are past, the griefs are ended by seeing the worst which late on hopes depended. To mourn a mischief that is past and gone is the next way to draw a new mischief on. What cannot be preserved when fortune takes, patience her injury a mockery makes. The robbed that smiles steals something from the thief. He robs himself that spends a bootless grief. And the Duke is just like, let me give you a little rhyme to help you have a better time. And Brabantio says, so let the Turk of Cyprus us beguile. We lose it not so long as we can smile. Oh my God, we're going into rhyme time. Here we go. He bears the sentence well that nothing bears, but the free comfort which from thence he hears. But he bears both the sentence and the sorrow, that to pay grief must of poor patience borrow. These sentences to sugar or to gall, being strong on both sides, are equivocal. But words are words, I never yet did hear that the bruised heart was pierced through the ear. I humbly beseech you, proceed to the affairs of state. So, Brabantio's like, I have been defeated. The Duke started rhyming, and Brabantio's like, I have to continue the rhyme. Damn it worked! And the Duke says, the Turk, with a most mighty preparation, makes for Cyprus. Othello, the fortitude of the place is best known to you. And though we have there a substitute of most allowed sufficiency, yet opinion, a sovereign mistress of effects, throws a more safer voice on you. You must therefore be content to slubber the gloss of your new fortunes with this more stubborn and boisterous expedition. Okay. So something interesting about that sardo, and I've talked about this a little bit on stream before, so you don't see it so much in plays, at least not in this era, but if you take Mozart as an example, a little more than 100 years later, um, he does a really good job at reflecting low society in his operas. So if you're looking for a good start to historical recollection of lower class and common citizens, look for Mozart because he does a lot of representation of people who are not royalty and nobility. I gotcha. I only know about music stuff though. I don't know a lot about plays because I studied music. I didn't study literature. I am not fully qualified to be giving literature recs, but yeah, okay. So anyway, the Duke and Othello are going to start talking about matters of state here. That's what's about to happen. I studied opera. Okay, I studied opera and jazz voice. That's what I studied. Okay, the Duke. The Turk with the most mighty preparation makes for Cyprus. Othello, the fortitude of the place, is best known to you. And though we have there a substitute as most allowed sufficiency, yet opinion, a sovereign mistress of effects, throws a more safer voice on you. You must therefore be content to slubber the gloss of your new fortunes with this more stubborn and boisterous expedition. Okay, so the Duke is like, look, I got a new thing for you to do. We're gonna go on a voyage, okay? And you need to be ready to spend some money on this to make some money, okay? And Othello says, the tyrant custom, most grave senators, hath made the flinty and steel couch of war my thrice-driven bed of down. I do agonize a natural and prompt alacrity. I find in a hardness and do undertake these present wars against the Ottomites. Most humbly, therefore, bending to your state, I crave fit disposition of my wife, due reference of place and exhibition with such accommodation and besort as levels of her with her breeding. Okay, so Othello's just like, look, I'm gonna help you out, okay? So he's like, I'm gonna help you out, but I wish I didn't have to because honestly, I want to be with my wife. So can I stay with my wife? Is that cool? And the Duke's like, if you please, be it at her father's. Okay, there's a side reference here, and I'm curious what the side reference is because I'm guessing that I know what it means. Okay. Oh, okay. So the Duke is like, okay, you can stay if you stay at Brabantio's house, and Brabantio's like, I'll not have it so, and Othello's like, nor I. Desdemona's like, nor I. I would not there reside to put my father in impatient thoughts by being in his eye. Most gracious Duke, to my unfolding lend your prosperous ear, and let me find a charter in your voice to assist my simpleness. And the Duke says, what would you, Desdemona? And Desdemona says, that I did love the more to live with him. My downright violence and scorn of fortunes made trumpet to the world, my heart subdued even to the very quality of my lord. I saw Othello's visage in his mind. And to his honours and his valiant parts did I my soul and fortunes consecrate, so that, dear lords, if I be left behind a moth of peace, and he go to the war, the rights of which I love him are bereft me, and I a heavy interim shall support by his dear absence. Let me go with him. So Desdemona's like, hey, can I go with Othello then? Like, is that cool? Can I like, I would I like how Desdemona's like, I'd rather go with Othello than stay at my dad's house. And Othello's like, let her have your voice. Vouch with me, heaven, I therefore beg it not to please the palate of my appetite, nor to comply with heat the young affects in me defunct in proper satisfaction, but to be free and bounteous in her mind. and heaven defend your good souls, that you think I will your serious and great business scant, for she is with me. No, when light-winged toys of feathered Cupid seal with wanton dullness, my speculative and officed instruments that my disports corrupt, and taint my business, let housewives make a skillet of my helm, and all in dine, and base adversaries make head against my estimation. And the Duke says, be it as you shall privately determine, either for her stay or going. The affair cries haste, and speed must answer it. You must hence tonight. Welcome to Chat DBA. Yeah, please enjoy the story and sit back and relax. And Desdemona says, tonight, my lord? So the Duke is just like, okay, well, yeah, tonight. You have to leave tonight, okay? And the Duke says, this night, Othello, with all my heart. And the Duke says, at 9 a.m, here we'll meet again. Othello leaves some officer behind, and he shall our commission bring to you with such things else of quality and respect as doth import you. Oh, okay. So Desdemona and Othello are gonna have tonight together, and then Othello has to leave. And Othello says, so please your grace, my ancient, a man he is of honesty and trust. To his conveyance I assign my wife, with what else needful your good grace shall think to be sent after me. And the Duke says, let it be so. Good night to everyone. And noble signor, if virtue no delighted beauty lack, your son-in-law is far more fair than black. Okay, so this is how we recognize in the text. So you have to keep in mind, so Othello is a black man, okay? Which in society, you have to keep in mind, in Old English society is not seen as I'm trying to think of the correct grammatical term. Okay, it's not seen as stately or noble, I guess, right? So it would have been very controversial for Desdemona to marry him because he's a black man. And I'm trying to, where is this set? And this is in Venice. So you're in Italy, right? So, I mean, these are all European people, right? So, and it's a different time. So, I mean, I guess it kind of explains Brabantio's misunderstanding, but it's very progressive and very forward-thinking of Desdemona to do something like this. And the Senator 1, of course, let's be honest, it's the senator. He is the senator. The senator. He says, adieu, brave Moor, use Desdemona well. Ugh, gross. And Brabantio says, look to her, Moor, if thou hast eyes to see. She has deceived her father, and may thee. And then the Duke, Brabantio, Cassio, senators, and officers all exhumed. So the senator says to the Moor, he's like, go get some, bro. And Brabantio's like, look after her, please. Because, you know what? She fooled me. So keep your eyes on her, because she might fool you too. And Othello says, my life upon her faith, honest Iago. My Desdemona must I leave to thee, I prithee. I let thy wife attend on her, and bring them after in the best advantage. Come, Desdemona, I have but an hour of love, of worldly matter and direction to spend with thee. I must obey the time. And then Othello and Desdemona leave, because Othello's like, bro, we only got an hour left, and we cannot see each other after this, because I have a voyage to go on for the Duke, okay? Let's go, go, go. And Rodrigo says, Iago! And Iago says, what sayest thou, noble heart? Rodrigo, what will I do, thinkest thou? And Iago says, why, go to bed and sleep. Rodrigo, I will incontinently drown myself. Iago, if thou dost, I will never love thee after. Why, thou silly gentleman. Rodrigo, it is silliness to live when to live is torment, and then we have a prescription to die when death is our physician. Iago, oh villainous! I have looked upon the world for 4 times 7 years. So he's 28. Thanks for giving us a math problem, Iago. And since I could distinguish betwixt a benefit and an injury, I never found a man that knew how to love himself. Ere I would say I would drown myself for the love of a guinea hen, I would change my humanity with a baboon. So Rodrigo's like, what should I do tonight? And Iago's like, I don't know, go to sleep. And Rodrigo's like, but what if I drowned myself? And Iago's like, bro, what in the hell are you talking about? And Rodrigo's like, I don't want to live anymore. And Iago's like, dude, I've never met a dude who was really happy with himself. Okay? This came out of left field, okay? This is like real private bro talk. I think Rodrigo is feeling suicidal, okay? And Iago's just like, look, man, I would do anything to be a simpler human being who is not aware of their own consciousness and who has a simpler brain. And Rodrigo said, what should I do? I confess it is my shame to be so fond, but it is not in my virtue to amend it. Wait a second. Hold up. There's no way. Wait, does Rodrigo have a crush on Desdemona? I don't know. Okay, Iago, virtue, a fig, 'tis in ourselves that we are thus or thus. Our bodies are gardens to which our wills are gardeners. Ooh, it's like my body's a temple. I like garden better though, because you gotta really work on a garden after you like put it together. So that if we will plant nettles or sow lettuce, set hyssop and weed up thyme, supply it with one gender of herbs, or distract it with many, either to have it sterile with idleness or manured with industry. Why, the power and corrigible authority of this lies in our wills. If the balance of our lives had not one scale of reason to poise another of sensuality, the blood and baseness of our natures would conduct us to most preposterous conclusions. But we have reason to cool our raging motions. Our carnal stings our unbitten lusts, whereof I take this that you call love to be a sect or scion. And Rodrigo says, it cannot be. I like this a lot, actually. So Iago's like, look, working on yourself is like working on a garden, right? You can set it up any way that you want to. You can, put all of these different crops and plants and flowers that you want to grow in it. You can choose what gender the flowers are if you want them to pollinate each other, like crossbreed, whatever. But the way you take care of it and the way you set up your garden, it affects things, right? Because sometimes the weeds start growing in the garden and you're going to have to pick them. And if you don't do the maintenance, they just keep growing, right? This is a really good metaphor. I really like it. And Iago says, it is merely a lust of the blood and the permission of the will. Come be a man. Drown myself? Drown cats and blind puppies. I have professed me thy friend, and I confess me knit to thy deserving with cables of perdurable toughness. I could never better stead thee than now. Put money in thy purse, follow thou these wars, defeat thy favour with an usurped beard. I say, put money in thy purse. It cannot be that Desdemona should long continue her love to the Moor. Put money in thy purse, nor he his to her. It was a violent commencement, and thou shalt see an answerable sequestration. Put but money in thy purse. These Moors are changeable in their wills. Fill thy purse with money. The food that to him now is as luscious as locusts shall be to him shortly as bitter as coloquintida. She must change for youth. When she is sated with his body, she will find the error of her choice. She must have change. She must. Therefore put money in thy purse. If thou wilt needs damn thyself, do it a more delicate way than drowning. Make all the money thou canst. If sanctimony in a frail vow betwixt an erring barbarian and a super-subtle Venetian be not too hard for my wits and all the tribe of hell, thou shalt enjoy her. Therefore make money. A pox of drowning thyself, it is clean out of the way. Seek thou rather to be hanged in encompassing thy joy than to be drowned and go without her. Okay. So Iago has a good point here. Iago's like, okay, Rodrigo, I get it. You like Desdemona. You like Desdemona so much that you don't want to live anymore because she's with somebody else. But let me tell you something, okay, Rodrigo? So he's saying put money in your purse. And I think this is personal. I'm thinking it's a double meaning. It might not be. It might just be, hey, yo, bro, go make money so that when she is single, you are appealing. But I think it also means, because he brings up this whole idea where, she must have change. Which, I mean, it may be a play on words. I don't know. Shakespeare's all about play on words. She must have change, right? So when she gets older, she's going to have some change left over. Whenever she breaks up with him and she sees him naked for the first time and she's like, ooh, she's going to realize and she's going to have some change. So you best have some change in your wallet ready to go, okay? You must have more than change because she is going to be reduced to next to nothing. And you need to have like this wealth of a personality, and you need to have a wealth of strength and masculinity so that she flees to you. There needs to be something appealing and of value that you have. And Rodrigo says, well, thou be fast to my hopes if I depend on the issue. And Iago says, thou art sure of me, go, make money. I have told thee often, and I retell thee again and again, I hate the Moor. My cause is hard, and thine hath no less reason. Let us be conjunctive in our revenge against him, if thou canst cuckold him. Thou dost thyself a pleasure, me a sport. There are many events in the womb of time which will be delivered. Traverse, go, provide thy money. We will have more of this tomorrow. Adieu. So Iago's just like, bro, you gotta do everything you can in this time when Othello is gone to really just like work on yourself, but also maybe slide into Desdemona's DMs, okay? She's gonna be waiting. She is in my care, okay? Desdemona's gonna be around me a lot. Which, this also explains why Rodrigo would like jump on the ship with Iago on this whole telling Brabantio thing about why Desdemona's leaving and why he would want to get Othello arrested, right? He's just like, hey, I know you wanted me to marry your daughter and she's not here, and where is she? What the hell is going on? We were supposed to be together. Okay. This is giving me Paris vibes. He's kind of giving me Paris vibes from Romeo and Juliet. He's like, hey, aren't I supposed to marry your daughter? Where is she? Oh, she's been sick for like a week and a half? What? Okay. Anyway, sidetracked. So Rodrigo says, where shall we meet in the morning? And Iago says, at my lodging. Rodrigo, I'll be there with thee betimes. Iago, go to, farewell. Do you hear, Rodrigo? Rodrigo, what say you? Iago, no more of drowning, do you hear? Rodrigo, I'm changed. Iago, go to, farewell. Put money enough in your purse. Rodrigo, I'll sell all of my land. Okay, maybe it's not a complex metaphor. Maybe it's just go get some money. Okay, that makes sense. So Iago's going to give this nice little monologue. So strap in. This is the end of the scene, by the way. And Iago says, thus do I ever make my fool my purse. For I mine own gained knowledge should profane if I would time expend with such a snipe, but for my sport and profit. I hate the Moor, and it is thought abroad that twixt my sheets he's done my office. I know not if it be true, yet I, for mere suspicion in that kind, will do as if for surety. He holds me well. The better shall my purpose work on him. Cassio's a proper man. Oh, thank you, Ronnie, for the follow. I appreciate it. Cassio's a proper man, let me see now. To get his place and to plume up my will in double knavery. How? How? Let's see. After some time to abuse Othello's ears, that he is too familiar with his wife. He hath a person and a smooth dispose, to be suspected, framed to make women false. The Moor is of a free and open nature, that thinks men honest that but seem to be so, and will as tenderly be led by those the nose, as asses are. I have it. It is engendered. Hell and night must bring this monstrous birth to the world's light. And that is the end of the Act 1. I feel like having land is much more valuable than having cash. I agree, Sardo. Like, completely. So Iago's just like, look, I'm about to F with Othello really hard. Okay? He is going to get it really hard. I don't know how I feel about Iago yet. Because, I mean, I can kind of empathize with him to the to the extent that, it sucks if you've been working for somebody for a really long time and they don't recognize how much of an asset you are and they just kind of cast you to the side. But at the same rate, it's just like, man, you can't just ruin an entire man's career with this. So, yeah, that's today's stream. Tomorrow we're going to start Act 2. It'll be very exciting. Thanks for coming to stream. If you enjoyed it, feel free to follow. If not, don't worry about it. I will be here tomorrow and reading. So I will talk to you again soon. I hope you have a great day or a good afternoon or a good evening. And goodbye. See you tomorrow.